Some days, I'm trying to be less afraid of the skull in this face. The blood in my guts, just knives cut away from feeding society's drain. Sometimes I think, just set me on fire here in this greed hallucination and mercifully walk away. But there will be no such respite in cold ashes today. Instead, necessary fortitude will be numbered first in tears, which precede steps into a pregnant unknowing. Sometimes I stop pretending the breakdown hasn't already closed in, while our prospect of collapse languishes in sad plastic arrangements and a sticky box office instant gratification. Man, it's already underway. It lives in the vaporous breathing within wintry homeless encampments. It floats to the surface on dead fish in the dying oceans. It creeps from our trash bins into our heads as the bright crumpled typography of late-stage capitalism. It mutates in the bodies of disfigured children whose mothers inhale lungfuls of depleted uranium from our tax-funded ammunition. There are so many for whom our sound investment strategy, out of sight, out of mind apocalypse has already descended. And we're just biding prime time in industrial civilization's sweaty kitchen competition, hiding embarrassed behind the slapdash Cheeto-encrusted parfait of our own creation, as the clock ticks down for the next round of elimination. Economic implosion, climate change, crop failure, and mass migrations in the viscera of this semi-automatic Disney nation. America's collapse isn't yet Mad Max, but make no mistake, there are shell casings stacked behind our nervous department store malaise, barbed wire that tracks through mass-made cracks in the fast food surveillance of these delirious days. In this confused hour, we wag imperious fingers at revolt's shattered glass, reacting like privately insured windows of the financiers of global devastation are worth more than kids' lives. Because we've numbed ourselves to the violence contained in our own complicity in simply going along. The top 40 music shuffle of well-stocked grocery aisles is the soundtrack of a fluorescent spiritual collapse that thrives in apathy, timidity, and planning that lacks foresight, because through our enamored gaze, we've become the market fluctuations and glittering storefronts. Our pixelated selfies constructed in interest rates and precision logos. We make quips from recycled movie clips behind barricades of mimetic distraction, our own cybernetic mannequin subconscious minds algorithmically aligned to collect more dimes on our silent climb to oblivion. Every big box strip mall, another fascist border wall enclosing the fruits of capital, extending brick by brick into the landscape of imagination, where we watch tobacco chewing ICE agents round up our impoverished dreams for execution. We've abrogated our sacred life's responsibilities to a half-baked marketing team making bucks off clickbait anti-aging creams. Each day we cart designer food and movies home to our own private prisons. But I'm about 2 seconds past done with this shit. Let's take truth's torch to the corporate government. Because we got methane billowing from melting permafrost and 75% Arctic sea ice volume lost. Trillions spent to slaughter and enslave abroad while we die toxic and bankrupt in this corporate fraud. Courage. Courage. Love. Compassion, fashioned from dream into specific daily transformative routine, is how we proceed. If you and me don't get over our trepidation, work some magic, take a stand, we have a pretty good idea of where all this lands. And I'm not interested in death camp bound boxcars, even if they are first class and smell like pumpkin spice. And I hope you're with me on that one. The darkness isn't there because in our negativity we have spoken of its depths for too long. It only grows with every day of denial, every well-worn hesitation manacled to a 9 in 5 collective suicide. An over-the-cliff work ethic, a grinning gun to your head, politeness, and busy schedules of a civilized mass extinction. I don't want your Facebook like. I want to sit under starlight at your side. Build strategic operations, drink the poetry contained in each refinement of your long-tended revolutionary mind deep into the night. I want to permacultivate possibility in the reclaimed fertility of our collective lives. I want to watch you unapologetically engage with the darkness, gather it up in your hands, shape it into a wedge, and drive that wedge straight through the chest-burdening armor with which this abusive culture has shackled you. From the cracks of each splintered heart, beams of newfound love's light fiercely jettison to dissolve insecurities, brittle bars, in freedom's immediacy, and in clusters of bright glowing spears to join dust and each other, illuminating our path beyond today's fearful imprisonment. It matters less what external form love takes in this psychopath's coal-wheezing carousel ride, only that with gentle, steady breath, we maintain its blaze. This can no longer persist as some drunken fireworks ritual from which we stagger back into haunted familiarity. Let this be the ground of our departure, where because of our ability to hold close our apparent brokenness, we are thus enabled to locate the edges of a long generational labor, where in transcendent, loving rebellion, we will learn again to discover our strength and each other.